Every Tuesday when I hop on here and do a live stream, I get the question, what movies are you looking forward to this year? It's a very basic question that I should be thinking about often, but every time someone asks me it, I have no idea what to say. I'm not tapped in like that. I don't understand what's going on. But today I decided to do a little bit of research, see what's coming out this year, and I want to talk about the stuff that I'm personally looking forward to as a way of informing you guys of what's to look forward to and putting some stuff on your radar. I'm realizing I'm putting this out on April Fool's Day, so this probably comes off like a joke video, but it's not a joke. This is 100% serious. Starting with The Big Boy, which is the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie, One Battle After Another. It stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Regina Hall, and Teyana Taylor, who I will be completely honest, I don't know that much about her. I haven't seen anything else she's been in, so very much looking forward to this. The trailer just dropped last week. Do I understand what this is about? Not really. There's a pregnant lady, and she's shooting a gun. It looks really interesting. There's a lot of talk about like the budget to this thing, how it's like the biggest Paul Thomas Anderson budget so far, how it's too weird to make its money back. And I'm just like, why are we paying attention to this stuff? Who gives a shit? Let's just be grateful that we have this movie. It is his first movie set in the modern day since Punch Drunk Love, I believe. So that's also something to look forward to. It just looks very different for him. I mean, it still has that like Paul Thomas Anderson weirdness based on the trailer, but like it seems like a step out from what he's been doing the last decade, basically. So I'm really curious about this. It's either going to hit very hard. It might be a huge miss, but I don't know. I'm optimistic. There's obviously the new Wes Anderson, which I'm very excited about. Honestly, he comes out with stuff so often that it's like hard to get super amped about it, but I heard this one's pretty special. There's something like a little bit more serious about it. He's being a little bit more concrete with the plot. His last few have been a bit on the watery side, a bit on the more, I don't want to say experimental, but like heady side. They're both movies that like if you're not already there with Wes, you're not going to get on board with those. Like if you're an anti-Wes guy, you probably have not enjoyed the last few years of Wes. As much as I've loved his work in the last few years, I'm kind of hoping this goes into a more accessible direction, just because I think the blend of like normal movies and Wes Anderson movies is really interesting. When he's done it in the past, it's worked really well. That's like my favorite version of Wes. So yeah, very excited for this. I can't say I don't know what to expect, because with Wes Anderson, he's one of the most predictable filmmakers out there. But at the same time, you don't really know what kind of tone you're going to get. F1 is the other one that I keep bringing up. I know people have some issues with this. People don't really care for this movie. No one's like that excited. I'm a little bit less excited after the full trailer dropped, to be honest with you. It looks a little bit more on the, I don't know, cheesy side. But also Top Gun Maverick was kind of cheesy, and that was the appeal. So I don't know. I think it's going to be really fun. I think the cinematography looks beautiful. They got Hans Zimmer on board for this thing. I trust Joseph Kosinski after Top Gun Maverick. I know we have reasons for not liking Brad Pitt, but I'm excited to see Brad Pitt actually do something like this instead of Wolf's or Bullet Train. Okay, personally, my most anticipated film that's likely to be at Cannes is Father, Mother, Sister, Brother by Jim Jarmusch. I'm a big Jim head. I love his movies, and his recent stuff specifically, even the stuff that people don't like, I've found really fun. I thought Dead Don't Die was a good time. I thought there was a lot to love about the Dead Don't Die, so it's like, it was pretty widely agreed that Dead Don't Die was a flop, both like financially and critically. Like a lot of people didn't like it. You could call this a comeback movie. That said, I don't like to think in those terms, but like I'm sure that's how some people are seeing it. It stars Cate Blanchett, Adam Driver's back, Tom Waits is back. It just seems like a very Jim Jarmusch movie based on the plot as well. 3 separate stories all concern the relationships between adult children, their somewhat distant parents, and each other. So yeah, I'm a big anthology guy. I think Jim Jarmusch specifically is like incredible at this formula. So I don't know. I'm really looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be very up my alley. I don't know if this is going to come out this year, but Eddington, directed by Ari Aster. The new Ari Aster's coming out, starring Joaquin Phoenix, Pedro Pascal, Emma Stone, Austin Butler. Jesus Christ. Don't know a bunch about this one. It's about a sheriff who decides to run for mayor of Eddington after he refuses to wear a face mask at the local grocery store. It could be terrible, to be honest with you, but like if he leans into the absurdity that Beau is Afraid started off with, which is kind of what this sounds like to me, I think this could be amazing. I think there were a lot of highs with Beau is Afraid, but it was so ambitious it bit off a bit more than it could chew. It kind of lost me at parts, but if this is like a little bit more honed in, then I think we could have a real heater on our hands. Another one I'm really looking forward to that might be at Cannes is Die My Love, directed by Lynne Ramsay. It's been years since the last Lynne Ramsay, You Were Never Really Here. I can't really call myself like a full Lynne Ramsay expert. I haven't seen her earlier work, but what I have seen, I've absolutely adored. And I love it when a filmmaker takes a bit long to get into the next project. It makes that project feel very intentional. Feels like, you know, you're getting something a bit more special. No hate towards Wes, but it just, there's got to be something to this one. You know, it stars Jennifer Lawrence and Rob Pattinson. Rob Pattinson's got a lot coming out in the future, by the way. And so I'm really excited for it. This is one I really don't know what to expect, other than I'm probably on the disturbing side of things, but it should be pretty good. Frankenstein, directed by Guillermo del Toro. This is one that I keep forgetting about and then remembering. When I remember it, I get super excited. I think I'm going to love this. I really have loved recent Guillermo del Toro. Everything he's made, especially the live action stuff. Pinocchio was pretty good, but personally, I think Nightmare Alley is one of the most underrated movies of the last few years. That movie looks gorgeous. I think Bradley Cooper is at his best. He is not in this movie, but it just goes to show you just how good Guillermo del Toro has been recently. This is a Jacob Elordi situation. Oscar Isaac, Mia Goth, Christoph Waltz. My hopes are very high. I also love Frankenstein as a story. It's a world that I am just very comfortable in, so I really think this is going to be great and pretty up my alley. I Want Your Sex, directed by Gregg Araki. I am very excited for this. Don't get me wrong. I am a big Gregg Araki guy. I love Gregg Araki. I'm going in just a little skeptical. His style is something that, you know, thrived in its day. You know, he's a very 90s filmmaker, kind of a very early 2000s filmmaker as well. I can't really speak too much on how his style would do now. The new technology and the new style of comedy, the new style of filmmaking, it's so far off from like his appeal, in my opinion. He's proven himself to be a very competent director these days. He directed that episode of Dahmer. I think Kaboom is all right, but is like mostly why I'm worried going into this. Kaboom was just, it had that like digital sheen of nowadays it's not a bad movie. It's still got that Gregg Araki flavor, but it's just not as appealing to me. And so I'm very curious how this will come out. You know, a modern day Gregg Araki film. I've been saying it. Many have said it. It's like now more than ever we need it. It feels like his style is going to hit harder now than it has in the last few years. Like you could even say it's trendy. But yeah. Just really curious how this looks, how it's going to turn out. Alpha, new Julia Ducournau, not sure if this is coming out this year. Really hoping it comes out this year. There's a rumor that it's at Cannes. I know Neon already has the rights to it, I'm pretty sure. I know very little about it other than it's about a teenager who starts getting rejected by her classmates because of a rumor spreading that she's been infected with a new disease. Sounds like a very Julia Ducournau premise. I don't know. She's 2 for 2 with me. Like 2 masterpieces in a row, so obviously going into this with high expectations. Really hope I like it. Tahar Rahim of Madam Web is in this, so there is that to look forward to. Sentimental Value, new Joachim Trier, also starring Renee Rensby. Yeah, I don't think this is part of the same trilogy, as the trilogy is finished. Can't be a trilogy if there's more than 3, but really excited for this. Also takes place in Oslo, I want to assume. I actually don't know much about this, and movies like this, I don't really care to like get into the, you know, the plot details. It could be really good. Again, he's someone who I've only seen 2 of his films. I can't call myself an expert on his filmography, but the 2 that I have seen, I've loved both of them. So going in optimistic. Marty Supreme, what is there to say about Marty Supreme? The new Josh Safdie starring Timothée Chalamet about a professional ping pong player, I think. I don't know who Marty is. I don't know much about this story, but everything I've seen as far as like stills and like, not stills, but like behind the scenes stuff, I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty fun. Apparently it's like one of the highest budgets A24 has ever worked with, so that's exciting. I'm very curious to see like how Josh Safdie is compared to Benny Safdie, who has The Smashing Machine with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I'm excited for both of these, but I'm probably leaning more towards Marty Supreme. I'm really just curious like how they will differ from one another. What Josh Safdie looks like compared to Benny Safdie, you know? It'll be interesting. It's like how when the Coens split up, and it's two very different types of movies. Like I'm looking forward to this. Arguably, one of my most anticipated, I have to say, is The Mastermind, the new Kelly Reichardt. You guys know me, huge Kelly Reichardt head. She is one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. Definitely one of my favorites working today. We share the same initials, so there's that. This one stars Josh O'Connor, who is one of my favorite new actors on the scene. He is incredible. Him in a Kelly Reichardt movie sounds very my thing. Alana Haim is back. I have an idea of how it's going to go down, but at the same time, you never know with her, I guess. First Cow was kind of like a big movie for her, and then Showing Up, complete opposite side of the spectrum, like very niche, very specific, very small. But with this cast, I think this is going to be pretty special. I'm really looking forward to it. We got Highest to Lowest, the Spike Lee High and Low remake, which I'm weirdly excited for. I haven't seen his Old Boy remake, which apparently a lot of people dislike, but I'm going into this one relatively optimistic. High and Low is the kind of story that could be remade in a really interesting way. It's probably my favorite Kurosawa film. I think it's one of the best. And just based on the cast for this thing, Denzel Washington, Jeffrey Wright, A$AP Rocky, who I heard is really good, by the way. There's like rumors that A$AP Rocky is very good in this movie. And then Ice Spice is there for some reason. It will be interesting to say the least. Spike Lee can be hit or miss, clearly, especially when it comes to these English language remakes. But damn, I can't deny how excited I am for this one. No Other Choice, new Park Chan-wook. Speaking of Old Boy, Park Chan-wook has a new movie coming out this year. After being unemployed for several years, a man devises a unique plan to secure a new job, eliminate his competition. Sounds like a very Park Chan-wook plot. Probably going to be a great time. Poster's really good. Not much to say there other than looking forward to it. He's a very consistent filmmaker to me. And lastly, I have Caught Stealing, directed by Darren Aronofsky, which I really know like close to nothing about this other than it stars Austin Butler. A burned out former baseball player is unwittingly plunged into a wild fight for survival in the downtown criminal underworld of 90s New York City. Doesn't really sound like my thing, to be honest. And Darren Aronofsky is just like, I don't know, he throws a lot of things at the wall as a filmmaker. Like, he's a very experimental type of filmmaker, not in the like real traditional sense of that word, but like he likes to try shit out. He likes to play around. So I really don't know what to expect here. It could be utter dog shit, or it could be really cool. And those are my most anticipated of the year for films. I don't know what the fuck is going on in TV, but based on this, I mean, we got like some of my favorite people making movies this year between Kelly Reichardt, Gregg Araki, Julia Ducournau, and Jim Jarmusch. It's like, damn, they're all coming out this year, aren't they? It's going to be a good one. I'm very excited. Let me know what you guys are looking forward to. Is there anything I'm missing? Is there any crazy movie that's not on this list? Let me know. I'm going to get back to this very normal day. And